Do you want to start ice fishing but don't know where to start? This video is for you.
Welcome back to another episode of 5-Minute Fish Talk.
Well, the weather outside is frightful, but this coffee is so delightful. I've got 5 minutes on this timer here, and you know what that means. Boop! It's time to get real. Talking about ice fishing today. You know what? Here's the thing. I think like 10 of you have asked me to do some form of ice fishing video for 5-Minute Fish Talk, so shout out to all of you. Thank you for the idea. Here's the thing. Here's what I want to talk about before I even get started today. I am not an ice fishing expert. In fact, I am an ice fishing newbie, but that's what this video is all about. I actually just had my first season last year, and I did not know what I was doing. Moving into this year, I still don't know what I'm doing, but I think we're going to learn a lot more this year. So if you want to stay tuned for that, all you have to do is click subscribe and stay tuned for future videos. But that's not what this video is about. Today's video is really about what did I learn from last year, which can hopefully help me catch more fish this year and help you get started and have some priorities on the ice this year. Okay, first and foremost, the number one thing that I learned. I've got 3 things for you, 3 key things. Safety is the number one thing that I learned. Yeah, okay, that's kind of obvious, right? But the fact of the matter is if you're going out on ice and you don't know what you're doing, you need to be focused on this more than anybody else, because you don't want to get yourself out there on thin ice and end up falling through. That is not a good situation. So first and foremost, you should invest in these ice pick things. I also bought one of those spud bar deals that basically can gauge the thickness of the ice, and that was really helpful. I never really found myself in any sketchy situations because I didn't allow that to happen. I didn't go out in any sketchy situations. Some YouTubers think it's a cool idea to say ice fishing on super thin ice. I think that's a terrible idea, and I think them making those videos is setting a very, very bad message. My message to you is focus on safety first and foremost. Secondly, this thing is super, super important, is location / depth. Okay, what I mean by that is basically you got this big lake, right? Well, guess what? There's a bunch of structure underneath the water that these fish position themselves on, and that could be a brush pile on a channel swing or whatever it may be. But if you don't know where that is, you're going to be in really, in a difficult position. But then even if you find it, depth is so crucial for these fish. Just from blind fishing, because I don't have a fish finder, just from blind fishing, what I realized pretty quick is like, wow, I'm not catching any fish. I'm jigging it at 10 feet. And then I stayed in the exact same hole. I jigged it at 2 feet down in like 12 feet of water, and I started catching fish. So these fish were suspended literally like right under the ice. But that was a key learning. And then other times it was like I was trying to jig really shallow, didn't catch anything, and I dropped it down and I caught fish. So that just speaks to the power of depth with regards to ice fishing. Now, I have very limited experience, as I told you, but I really do feel like that's a key point. So number 3 just really plays off of that. If you actually want to go out there and hammer fish on the ice, you really probably should invest in a Vexilar or a fish finder of some type, because that is much needed. And I can tell you right now that I need one very bad, because I'm not going to go out there and have a whole lot of success without one, because you're blind fishing and you don't know where these fish are. Last thing you want to be doing is positioning in a hole and fishing this much water because you're fishing vertically, and if there's no fish down there, you're just wasting your time. So fish finder is incredibly important. Finding the right location on a map is incredibly important, and then obviously safety is incredibly important. Those are really my 3 key learnings. Obviously there's 1,000 other things that I learned and 1,000 other things that I did wrong last year, but again, if you want to see me learn more this year, all you have to do is click subscribe. So that's pretty much all I had to say to you. I'm going to cancel that out, and here's what I'm going to say next. Have yourself a fantastic weekend, and we'll catch you next time.